Hi, my name is Dave Crockett and I pastor the Palmer Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Palmer, Alaska. The North Pacific Union has challenged each of their churches to be involved in evangelism twice a year. You may have heard about it. It's done a lot overseas, but we've decided to incorporate it here in our local church. We have just finished our first series, and we had a wonderful person come to this first series. His name is Ken Pysz, and I'd like to introduce him to you. He's a gold miner. If you want to know about gold mining, he's the guy to talk to. Had lots of experience in finding that yellow dust here that's worth so much. He wanted to know about the Sabbath, however, and where he was attending, they couldn't answer his questions.
And here we are coming down the Willow side of Hatcher Pass. Kind of give you a better picture of what it looks like here. And this is where my claims are at. And from here we got a beautiful shot of the creek drainage. I've got 2 claims on the upper end. I've got 2 claims in the center section and 2 claims on the lower end. And I see we have hang gliders here for entertainment today. They're usually out here on the weekends. And I think he's bleeding off altitude right now. Circle around and land down in the center 2 claims where the road crosses.
My dad's Ken Pysz, and this is Pat Owens. I was doing my dietetic internship in Nome, and she was my preceptor.
You know, we'd get lots of students up, and they didn't have anything to do, so we'd take them with us to do whatever we're going to do. And
I was up there for about
3 weeks.
3 weeks in Nome.
All my life, I've spent looking for things of interest and of value. When I was 24, I came to Alaska. I was born and raised a Catholic. I never seen a Bible. Although I was baptized, I was confirmed, I was an altar boy, I sang in the choir, did all that stuff. I had no idea what was in the Bible. And one of my co-workers, I don't know how religious he was, but he did quote some Bible scriptures periodically. And I thought that was kind of awesome. You know, how he could speak of things in the Bible, and it got my curiosity. And I thought, I've got to find out what's in the Bible. I've got to learn that.
Pat invited me over to her family's house, and we enjoyed a Sabbath potluck. And you had actually invited me to go to church, but I wasn't familiar with church at that time, so I didn't go. But afterward, you came and picked me up. You had myself and several other people from church over, and we went out on the road and we looked at the muskox, and that was pretty neat. And your son broke out that Bible game, and I was being polite. I wanted to play with him, but I couldn't answer one of those questions because I had never read the Bible before. And so, yeah, that stuck with me. I knew. Fun. Yeah, but I knew at that time, okay, something is missing in my life.
Now, my children, they grew up believing in God, but I don't think they went to some churches. They would go to the Kingdom Hall occasionally. They weren't into any heavy religion.
So I left Nome, I graduated the dietetic internship, and a few years, probably 2 years later maybe, I had taken enough bumps and bruises in my life that I knew something was missing. And I started attending a church. The experience with Pat never left me. I met my husband about probably 2 years later, and he happened to be Seventh-day Adventist. And it was comforting to reflect back on my experience with the Owens family, that wonderful day that I had with them. And so I was pretty much open to the Seventh-day Adventist beliefs lifestyle, because I saw what a positive experience Pat and her husband and children had made for me.
But you sent me a picture of your wedding invitation or something with this letter telling me the whole story. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it stuck with me, and I always wanted to let Pat know.
You started going to church with him?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I went through the prophecy seminars. And after that first night, I decided that was what my future was going to be, and gave my life to the Lord there. I got rebaptized with him into the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Let's see. Oh, wow. I seen a flash in the pan. I seen a flash in the pan. And there we have gold in the pan.
Because it was just phenomenal to me to realize that just living everyday life to me as I knew it would ever have any kind of an influence like that. And I just thank the good Lord for allowing us to share. Because I don't take any credit for all that. I just try to live a Christian lifestyle and go from there. Mm-hmm. So to me it just showed that, yeah, you really don't have to preach doctrines and gospel, you just have to live it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you could see that with your dad too, because he saw something, because it went the next step further, right?
Yeah, yeah. We started, Jason and I, we came up to the area for a Jaime Jorge concert. And my dad isn't really the violin type. So, lo and behold, my dad loved the music, and he just had a wonderful time with the Palmer Church. And there in the bulletin, it said there was to be a prophecy seminar coming up soon. And remembering back that on my experience, that's what sold me on the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I told my dad, oh, Dad, you really have to go to these seminars and learn what these folks have to say. He ended up going to every single night, in fact, and he brought his 86-year-old friend Helen along, and they were just truly blessed by the seminars.
And my recommendation would be to put the seminar on often, twice a year probably, because there's people like me that are wandering around looking for the truth, searching for the truth, wanting to get the answers. And the golden opportunity would be a presentation as they had presented and put on. It was a great, great wake-up.
So it's incredible to see how God works. In this case, it kind of reversed the generations. I was able to share our faith with my father, which is so special to me. It's so important to just be a good example, show your love, show Jesus' love to everyone that you come in contact with. It's incredible. You'd never know what impact you're actually having on these folks, even if outwardly they're not expressing it. You could end up finding out in the future the incredible influence you've had, how God has worked through you without you even really realizing it. Simple hospitality goes a long ways.